Hey everyone, you're back here with Lawrence again. Thanks for joining me. And over the last few months, I've had the privilege of coaching numerous people on property investments, financial education, entrepreneurship, personal development. And over the 100 people that I've coached so far, one excuse stands head and shoulders above the rest as to why they're not achieving the greatness that they want. And that is the excuse that it's not the right time. You know, they'll say things to me like, the economic climate is not good, therefore I can't start a business. You know, I can't go and speak to this girl or boy that I like because of this reason or that reason. I can't learn piano because of this or whatever it is. And they keep saying to me, I'll just wait until the right conditions and then I'll take action. I think that's sad. I think that's stopping people from taking the action that is going to make the change in their life. My favorite one is when couples tell me that they're going to wait until they're financially secure before they have kids. Now, let's be honest. How many of you would still be here today if your parents had to wait until they were financially secure? You know, the population of South Africa would go from 50 million to 500. There are only 500 people that are financially secure. My parents are perfect examples of this. When they were in their late 20s, they started their own business. They were still working side jobs to be able to fund the business. And they decided that even though they weren't financially secure, that they were going to have kids, and they had 3 of us. And they did a phenomenal job raising us. And for me, it wasn't about the right time or the right conditions. It was about whatever you were faced with, just doing the best that you can, learning along the way, and that's what they did. What's stopping most people, and I hope that it's not stopping you, is waiting for all your ducks to be in a row. You know, ducks in a row means that things have to be perfect, things have to be ideal. Every condition has to be perfect in order for you to take action. And that almost never happens. I was in Pretoria a couple of months ago at the dam. I was preparing for this episode and I thought, let me watch some ducks and see if they ever do come in a row. And 2, 3, 4 hours passed and nothing happened. And eventually this group of 5 ducks, this little family, they started to move together and I saw them actually get into a row. And all I could see was the daddy duck and all the other ducks were behind him in a row. And I thought, it happened. All my ducks were in a row. And that lasted for about 3 seconds. And then somebody threw a piece of bread and the ducks all scattered. And I use this as a metaphor because even if you wait until all your ducks are in a row, and it might happen, there might be that one day that all your ducks are in a row, within a few seconds the ducks are going to be dispersed again. Because the only constant in life is change, and if we're waiting for something perfect to be there, we're going to be waiting indefinitely and we're going to take our dreams and bury them in our bodies. You know, they say that the graveyard is the richest place in the world because that's where all the inventions and all the dreams have been left unexecuted. There are people going to early graves without living all their stuff because they've been waiting for the right time. So my recommendation for you in this video is to apply this principle in your life. And this principle is simple. It's called the ready, fire, aim. And simply put, you get ready, you fire, and then you aim or you course correct. So if you want to learn, if you want to start a business, or if you want to play piano, or if you want to write a book, start and then aim along the way. So with a piano, you know, play a few notes, and if you hear a note is not right, maybe get a coach in, or get your mom to listen, or get somebody else to listen. If it doesn't sound right, then course correct. With your business, go and speak to a few people about some ideas that you have. If they like your ideas, start to progress with that. If not, change your way. I'm reminded of a story of the Apollo 11 spaceship that went from Earth to the moon. And there was obviously a certain trajectory, the perfect trajectory that this ship had to take to go from Earth to the moon, right? And what they did is after the spaceship went up, they actually tracked how often Apollo 11 was on track and how often it was course correcting. And what's so interesting is that the ship was only on course 3% of the time. Meaning that 97% of the time the ship was course correcting. It means it was not on the ideal path towards the moon. And the greatest thing about the story is that even though they were only right 3% of the time, they still got to their destination, they still got to the moon. So what I'm saying here is that even if you're just getting it right 3% of the time, you're going to get to the destination. You just need to act. Can you imagine that Apollo 11 stopped after 20 minutes of flying and said, no, we've only been on course 2% of the time and we've been off course 2%. No, we have to come back and retrack our trajectory. We would never have gotten to the moon if we were waiting to follow the perfect path. So if you don't get the piano right the first time, if that note doesn't sound right, it's okay. You only have to be right 3% of the time. As long as you're patient, positive, and persistent, you'll get there. So guys, it's always the right time to do the right thing. It's always the right time to believe in yourself and follow your dreams. It's always the right time to get ready, to fire, and to aim. And if you keep that principle in mind, you too can change the game. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's important to look for growth and to look for improving yourself. But on that journey, also be kind. And just think, what is it that I do well? And it doesn't have to come off as a braggy, arrogant thing.